This is awesome. At least something's working. Okay, so yeah, no build up this week, guys. We're just we're waiting for Brucey because apparently his laptop needed to restart right before the show, and yeah, so there's that.
So it's us. It's us.
And it's us, of course. It's us. We will do the
Before we get here.
fantastically formal introductions when Brucey gets here.
But until then, what's up, y'all?
Hey, good to be back. Missed y'all. We had some last minute family issues last week and had to shut the shit down like 20 minutes before we were going to go live. And by the way, I do want to give a shout out to Devin and Hafiz for bringing me on that night anyway to do Clark Street. That was fucking fun.
Thank you, guys.
I have not done that in a while. And of course, I got minted as the third member of the Shield of Podcasting. I am now the lunatic fringe of podcasting on top of every other fucking nickname.
That's what's up. So
there is that. And I appreciate the hell out of those guys. Like, yeah, we don't always exactly see eye to eye on everything, but I still love them, and it was great to get on a show with them for the first time in a long fucking time.
Oh, I can imagine.
And I guess while I'm at it, I got to give a shout out to Ivy and Amy and Will and all the folks over at Rewind Wrestling Network, because I was on with them yesterday. The episode is coming. I'm everywhere except here. I don't know what's going on lately.
You're like all over the place, man. Like you're popular right now.
I am, man. All of a sudden, I
think it should be a psycho for president. You're out there making the rounds.
Nah, I'll be happy to be VP. I'd be happy with that. Besides, if I'm VP, then nobody's going to take a shot at the president because you're stuck with me. We ain't that fucking stupid.
Which nut job do we want?
No, we grandma's much better. We can see that. We're gonna go with that.
She contains it a little differently.
Oh, I got numbers now. Hopefully this is it. Oh, I'm sorry. Brucey might be waiting, and I'm over here like doing my Sherry thing. There he is! Yes!
Jesus Christ. I freaking messaged both of you guys. I'm like, let me the fuck in.
We're live, so I was doing my Sherry thing, and I wasn't on screen, so I didn't know you were there. And then I got your message, and I was like, oh snap! I gotta let Brucey in. My bad.
We got distracted. Sorry.
Just a tidbit, just a smidgen. But at least we're whole and we're back now. And I think I've only got a couple other places to share this shit, so I might as well do it. Fuck it.
Yeah. Just go through it. Before we do
I'm going.
Finish.
I'm going like a bat out of hell right about now.
Are you done yet?
That's what she said. No, I'm kidding.
How about now?
What about now?
Wow.
All right. I think I'm good. I think I'm done. We've got a lot of stuff to catch up on. We've got a lot of questions from you, the wrestling community, on our social medias to answer. We've got a lot to do. So let's just get through all the bullshit and let's kick this show off the way we always do. Right about what do you think now?
Yeah, sure. Right about meow.
Okay, now.
Burberry scars, shrimp and Perry on, living like a comet, moving amongst the stars. $100,000 sports cars, silk massage, menage a trois. Yes, I've been a boss. Sauntering, Major D staying flabbergasted. Her ass about the size of an infant's casket.
Oh, that's so good. I missed that. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the #1 show in Stamford, Connecticut, Nashville, Tennessee, Jacksonville, Florida, parts unknown, and the undead realm. Welcome back to the show that won a PWI Lifetime Achievement Award for Worst Instagram Handle Ever. Welcome to Top Rope Wrestling Talk. I am, as I was saying in the lead up to while we were waiting for Bruce, the newly minted lunatic fringe of podcasting and 1/3 of the Shield. I am the producer, the soundboard by God extraordinaire, the jack of all trades, the master of absolutely none. I will remain the South Philly psycho, your boy D.O. I'm extremely glad to be back. I'm dressed for semi-success and ready to roll. Let's fucking go!
Wow.
Someone's feeling himself tonight.
I'm
Right?
just feeling it.
Right?
I'm so glad to be back. I'm so glad to be home. I've been on the Psycho World Tour. It's nice to be home. And of course, joining me at home after the old school Zoom tribute is the First Lady of Top Rope Wrestling Talk. She is the whole ass vibe. She is the ninth wonder of the podcasting world because we don't treat her like a woman, but we damn sure don't treat her like a man.
Yeah,
She is the one, the only Latina heat, Grandma Wendy.
Viva la raza! If you're not cheating, you're not.
Oh, I need switches.
We lie, we cheat, we steal. We lie, we cheat, we steal. Mamacita, we got that pack.
Oh, mamacita.
Oh.
Hey.
Hey. And of course, the founder of Top Rope Wrestling Talk is finally with us.
Yes.
He is the biggest MJF mark you will ever meet. He is the salt of the earth of podcasting and apparently a Fitzmagic stand-in, according to the sports podcast last week. He is the man with the majestic beard and the host of this show, the high-class one,
Wow. Wow. He's really feeling it.
Told you.
Better than you.
I'm feeling it.
And you know it, I'm better than. Better than you.
Yes, I am.
And he knows it.
Yes, I do. What
See?
the fuck is going on?
We're back.
Holy shit.
Doing this.
We're doing this shit. And you know what? Like,
Hello,
we
Brian.
took a week off and
Brad.
yo, what up,
Somebody
y'all?
read.
So
We up in here like a G-string, no lie.
Yup.
Right in that ass.
So we put out on Twitter and Facebook asking for some fan questions, and we got them. So
yes,
this week's rundown is pretty much going. We're gonna go old school. I've only got a couple things besides the fan questions, but so we're gonna kind of throw it back to the old school days. You know, you guys are talking about me jumping on my cell phone like the old days and doing the show.
And
So
we did the Zoom intro where we just come on and I'm sitting here clicking things.
Yeah. So I really only got two things on here that I want to talk about. You know, and I know you guys will probably have some stuff that you want to talk about as well. First things first, I want to talk about Hangman Adam Page's title run.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
That's not where I thought you were going first, but I'm with it.
No. It's something.
I thought we were going to discuss the blonde elephant in the room, but okay.
We'll get to that. We'll get to
I'm
that.
saving the blonde elephant for our peak time in the show.
Okay. I feel you.
Yeah,
I feel you. He came in with a plan. I don't have any plan. It's just let's go.
So I've been reading and I've seen a lot of debate and a lot of other groups
Biggest Stardust stand. Jesus Christ,
about Hangman's title run. Is it really what it should be or what? Like, basically, he's living and dying off of
That's
gimmick
true, Ivan.
matches right now.
Death Triangle of podcasting right here.
Yes. Actually, you know what?
When I'm with
Ivan?
Clark Street, it's the Shield. When I'm rolling with these fellas, it's the Death Triangle.
It's crazy because it's like that's our message. That's our group.
Our group chat off air is called the Death Triangle. And I'm Penta, and he's Pac, and Wendy is Phoenix.
So I guess my question is do you feel Hangman's title run has been rather lackluster of besides his match with Danielson? It's kind of been meh. It's mid.
See, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, how? Because like he had these two amazing matches with Danielson. Yeah, I know one was a time limit draw; it was still amazing. Then he had that death match against Lance Archer, which we went nuts over when we were last on together. I mean, he's only had the title for a few months, and he's had some amazing defenses of it. I know he's had to rest afterwards because he's pretty much killed himself every fucking time.
But the actual title run itself has been pretty friggin' flat.
I gotta be honest, bro. If you look no further for flat title runs than Big E as the WWE champion,
and you know, and that's what.
And if you want to put Adam Page in that category, I'm sorry. Maybe it's just my opinion, but you're wrong.
I'm not. I guess you're not.
Not you in particular. I'm just talking people that want to clump them together.
I don't think maybe you're not kind of understanding where I'm coming from. His matches have been phenomenal.
Right.
Okay. But everything outside of that, like when I think back to all the AEW champions, Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley, Chris Jericho, their title runs were exciting. Hangman's title runs, not that. And listen, I like Hangman. I'm glad he's the champ.
I love him.
But I don't know. I don't think.
I just think I wouldn't say his run isn't exciting. I'd say it's not as edgy as the former champions, because when you look at Hangman Page and then you look at the guys who have held the belt before him, they are some edgy motherfuckers. Like Kenny is a dirt heel that will do anything to keep the belt. Jericho is fucking Jericho. We all know what he's about. And Mox is insane. Adam's just this good old boy, you know, like he's not going to wow you with promos. He's not going to get caught up in big stories. He's just going to go out, have amazing matches, cut decent promos and move on. He's not cut from the same cloth as guys like Jericho and Omega and Mox. That's why it took so long.
I think part of it might also be the caliber of rivalries. The matches have been great. But even when he went up against Danielson, like you just knew Danielson wasn't going to win it. Like you just knew.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's part of it also. Like he hasn't been given rivalries where you're like, ooh, is this the one where he's going to lose it? And you're just like, ooh, it's so good, so close kind of thing. I think that's part of it though. It has been kind of lacking. I do agree. Yeah, it's been a little, I mean, the matches have been stellar.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong.
Yes, absolutely.
But the title run has been, I guess.
You know, like Ivan is saying, the reason Adam Page is, you know, maybe a little lackluster is because he's been portrayed as an underdog champion going through obstacles and his matches have been challenging. Or he doesn't think it's meh because of the fact that he's been portrayed as the underdog. And I apologize, Ivan. I got that wrong. I'm going to back up. And that's true too. You know, like when most of those matches Kenny Omega had when he defended the title, you thought, oh, he's winning this shit. But you didn't care. You knew he wasn't losing to Rich Swann. You knew he wasn't losing to Moose or you know, maybe he dropped the Impact title to Christian, but he's not dropping both belts to him.
No.
But I mean, if we're going to compare Kenny's run to what Hangman's done so far, and a big difference is Kenny was on TV every week, and he usually had a
Right.
match, whether it was a title match or not. He was on TV some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
He was on TV.
That's true.
What Hangman's missing. Even if he's in the back drinking a beer with the Dark Order or something.
Yeah.
You know?
And I agree with what Philippe said, though. Hangman is too reserved to be champ. He needs to be out there and he needs more cowboy swag. And it kind of goes with what you're saying, Bruce.
Yeah. I mean,
he's better in the chase.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely better in the chase. I will give him that. But I still appreciate the title run that he's having because it's been so long in the making, not just in AEW. I mean, throughout his career, he's never been the guy. And kind of like Big E, you're like, yeah, you can be the guy, but you might not know how to be the guy.
Yeah, I think that's what
maybe he's trying to be a little, because on the chase he was not reserved. The cowboy shit was flying everywhere and it was hitting the fan. And since he won the title, he's been more reserved. He's been more, you know, he's held himself back a little bit. Whereas on the way he was just all out, and now it's just okay. Pump my brakes a little bit. Take a week off because I had an hour-long match. Take a week off because I got 17 stitches from a death match. You know, like his matches are all out, but him, as far as his gimmick, he was balls to the wall leading into that match with Kenny, and then pulled back drastically. Adam Cole called him out last week. But you're like, what happened? You know, you were running with Dark Order, you were doing this, you were doing that, and now you're just here.
Here's the thing: is like,
no problem, Ivan. I got you.
Everyone that started watching AEW from the beginning that didn't know who Hangman was, they fell in love with the beer drinking cowboy.
Yeah, absolutely.
They fell in love with the dude that would come to the ring with a beer in his hand, set it down on the apron, do a buckshot lariat, get the pin, grab the beer, drink it, and walk out. That's who everyone fell in love with.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was like a Stone Cold remix, basically.
Yeah, it kind of gave hope that that's what it would be. That's what I was thinking, actually, that it would be kind of Stone Cold-esque to a degree. But it hasn't been.
But not everybody can be Stone Cold, you know?
No,
it doesn't have to be exactly like Stone Cold, but just have that, like...
And maybe, I know it's just on the subject, maybe Stone Cold is going to try to be Stone Cold again. Who knows?
Yeah.
That's a little weird, but okay.
I guess.
I
hope you're more Sting than Goldberg, homie. That's all I'm going to say.
Here's the thing. In my book, in the way I view wrestling, a legend has one comeback match and that's it. Right. Like that's what it should be. It should be one match and done.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like Goldberg should have had one match.
Exactly. Listen, if Kevin Owens versus Stone Cold Steve Austin happens, I'm gonna watch that match.
Oh yeah, that
would be awesome.
I want.
That's gonna be amazing.
Because here's the thing: like when Stone Cold retired, like he just disappeared.
Yeah, pretty much.
He just vanished.
Yeah, he just kind of poofed.
He didn't have.
He did some shitty movies. He came back with a podcast,
or nothing like that. He just vanished. Like nobody knew. This could be like the fan closure. One match. That's it. Yeah. Just one match.
No, I hear you. Yeah. Even Brian saying Hangman needs that cowboy shiznit swag back in his title reign. We'll pick up again. We'll pick right up again. Mm-hmm. Blah. Sorry, I haven't done this in a while. Hopefully, this feud with Adam Cole will help do it. Lord knows Adam Cole is trying.
A for effort, Adam. A for effort, my friend.
And A for bringing in Jay White.
Right.
And actually saying Bullet Club on an American show.
Mm-hmm.
Never happened before. We've heard about the Elite. We've heard about the club. Actually saying Bullet Club for life on a television show in America. I was like, oh.
Yes, Philippe. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about, brother.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
No, that's exactly what I was saying though. Like he was complete roughneck, all out, whatever, leading up to winning that title. And once he won it, all of a sudden it was like, let me just pull back now. And now is not the time to pull back. But when you haven't been a champion, when you haven't been the guy of a promotion, you may not know that. And who knows if anybody's telling him that. Like, does Tony Khan know that? You know,
it's almost like when you get hired to a new job because your resume was so exciting and it just seemed like you were like so fucking thrilling, and then you get the job and you're like, hello, my name is Professional and I am here to do the job, but you're not as thrilling as your resume made you seem, and you're just quietly in your cubicle like, I'm just going to grind away. That's pretty much what it became.
That's not a bad question from Ivan there. He says, how long will Adam Page hold the belt? He thinks honestly the next one will be MJF for sure, in his opinion.
Yeah.
And so do I. And I think if I'm just looking at it, if this title reign continues, if he continues this way and kind of pulls back from what he was leading into it, I think he'll probably end up losing it to MJF at Double or Nothing. So I'm saying May, June, whenever Double or Nothing will be on.
So let's roll into a fan question. That we got. Wendy, this is right up your alley. Not only I also watched some back videos on this question as well and heard a few things. Andrew asked us thoughts on Nick Gage signing contract with GCW. He and here's the thing is he is the only wrestler to have a contract in that company.
Wow.
They do not have contracted wrestlers, and they did it because of his loyalty to the company.
Mm-hmm.
And Nick doesn't want to go anywhere else. That's where he wants to stay and finish his career.
Mm-hmm.
Is what he's gone on to say. Wendy, let me start with you. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, honestly, like, it makes sense. All of it. It's home for him. So why leave it? And he's obviously one of those guys that's ride or die, and you can throw all the money at him, but it doesn't matter if you're not GCW, if you're not home, if you're not the people who gave me the chance I needed when I needed it. Why am I going to go there? And in some weird way, for him, it makes complete sense for him to do that. And the way he wrestles, there's no other place for him, honestly. He does have the skill to do other styles that are not hardcore or death matches, but it's not his preferred. It's not what he wants to do. And honestly, GCW, it makes sense for him. It's home. No reason to do it anywhere else.
Cage my IQ nailed it right on the head.
My man Dan.
You won't see GCW do it for anyone else.
No. Yeah. And honestly, like, you know, you can think whatever you want to think about Nick Gage as a wrestler or a person or whatever the fuck. But when it comes to GCW in particular, I don't know if there's anybody else that deserved to be the only contracted wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
He did so much for them to put them on the map originally. And there would not
mentality.
Yeah. There may not be a GCW today without Nick Cage or whatever. You know, you can say what you want to say about him or his background or whatever the fuck, and I'm not going to argue that. But if it were not for him, this company may not have survived long enough to get Cardona and Moxley and whoever the fuck else and move forward and become the entity that they are today. So if anybody deserves it, it's Nick.
Gage definitely helped lay down that necessary foundation, and then Cardona and all these other guys are helping build it up. And I think that's how it should be.
Yes.
Yeah. I also think Dan's on the money again. It's a good calculated move to honor him. And it really is. It's deserving from them. You know, this is technically their guy. You know, they don't have a lot of GCW guys. Obviously. No. Nick Gage is one of the very few. Mm-hmm. And so honoring him with an actual contract, I'm fine with it. It's probably what I'm going to say every wrestling promotion should do unless there are outside circumstances. because we're probably going to talk about a blonde-haired elephant in the room later, and there are some outside
Yes.
circumstances.
Yes. So we got a two-part question for from PETA. But
PETA?
I think
Who fell asleep? Wake up, PETA!
where I think the second part's kind of been answered already.
Okay.
But that's okay. So the first part of the question is, how do today's stables stand up to older stables? So I'm guessing newer stables would be,
Like
I
Bullet
don't know,
Club, Inner Circle.
tens and 20s.
Yeah, the Shield, that type of shit.
Against the old school? I mean,
Yeah. It's funny that even if you ask me today, I'd say the best faction in all of wrestling is probably the Bullet Club, which is
absolutely.
just NWO Japan.
I
that trickled back into the United States.
The constant evolution of that group, and to be able to have a rotation of members but still maintain their core sense of who they are is actually quite impressive.
And just the fact that nobody leaves, you know what I mean? Like, you don't leave, you get your ass kicked.
I'm not gonna lie, and it's solely based, not even solely based, because I actually think the Bullet Club's had better talent. That I think the Bullet Club is the all-time best faction. I think they blow the NWO out of the fucking water.
Oh,
the thing
NWO wishes they were the Bullet Club.
I will say the thing that makes Bullet Club more exciting than NWO was contained in WCW basically. So, and eventually, damn near everyone was in the NWO. There were like 45 members. You got 60 on the roster. It made no sense. But with Bullet Club, as Ivan said, it's a stable that jumps from territory to territory. Basically, like they could be in Japan, and then there they are in ROH, or there they are in Impact, or there they are in AEW, and they can spread out, and no matter how many members they add, you don't get that oversaturation like you did towards the end of the NWO and WCW. So it makes it more exciting. I mean, overall, there have probably been some like the Bullet Club is one, Undisputed Era was another. That's probably one of the best factions of modern wrestling, along with the Shield. But when you're asking, like, how do they compare to, say, NWO or the Four Horsemen or some of the iconic stables of, yesterday, I'm still leaning towards the Horsemen over any of them.
Okay.
I understand what Philippe is saying, though. He says, not going to lie, I'm not scared of any of today's stables. The older ones before NWO were pure intimidation. And I will say that the NWO ruined the idea of modern stables. Yeah, I do agree. I mean, like, if you look at the old Four Horsemen, for example, like, fucking Arn Anderson, I wouldn't fuck around with that guy, neither old or young. Like,
that's what I mean. Like, no stable at any point.
Even before he said it, you just knew that man packed a gut. Like, he just packed heat. Like, you
knew it. He had a Glock before Glock existed.
Exactly. So I see what it means about, like, the old school guys. But I wonder, though, also if that's just a mentality of the times. You know what I mean? Like, before it was like this idea that men are men and we don't take shit kind of thing,
Sorry. Albolito, he's killing me. It's 44, not 45. Sorry. No, you're right. I mean, no faction was more intimidating than the Horsemen, more dominant than the Horsemen. Like, didn't matter if it was NWA, WWE, or WCW, whatever. They just rolled over everybody. No fucks were given in the process, and Glocks were exposed.
Since we're talking about stables, I kind of wanted to. I just kind of thought about this. I wanted to roll into it. So AEW has the opportunity to have some amazing stables. They've. But the thing with the stables in AEW is they don't always roll together. They're not like a real stable. The Inner Circle is not a real stable. Pinnacle is
Right.
not a real stable because they don't
No.
roll together. Like
There was a stretch there where I was wondering if the Pinnacle were still together.
the Pinnacle could literally be one of the top factions ever if they rolled with it like a real fucking faction.
Yeah.
True. You know what, Pepsi Phil? I got to give you credit. I guess because everything with Wyndham and Brody Lee and stuff, I kind of put it in the back of my mind. But the Wyatt family, they were a hella awesome stable in WWE. I still think they should have beat the Shield. I'm just saying. I'm a member of the Shield of podcasting. Yeah,
that was back when WWE was good. That's what I watched.
Yeah,
no, seriously.
Regularly.
Before I gave up on them.
Yeah, LAX, as far as Santana and Ortiz, yeah. I don't think Jericho actually made the call to Homicide and Hernandez.
No.
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing Supermax in AEW.
No.
He was coming over the top rope doing flips and flops before Jim Cornette was bitching about it.
No.
Long before. In fact, Jim Cornette was running the promotion while he was doing the flips and the flops.
Well, speaking of Santana and Ortiz and LAX, what about that damn tag match with Hager and Jericho? Like, if that was if that was not P&P saying, "Hey, guess what? Go fuck yourselves. We're going on our own," with Eddie there, all they got to do is bring Diamante up with them, and there it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yep.
I'm not sure if they can use the name, but there it is.
There it is.
The artist formerly known as LAX.
Oh, sorry.
No, I loved that tag match. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Santana and Ortiz actually got like fucking bigger.
Yes.
They used to be like the beginning of AEW, end of Impact. They were kind of tiny guys, and they used to wear like tank tops and jerseys and stuff. Now they're just cut. It's like they started working out with Mox or some shit. They're just.
I follow them on the Insta, and Santana like every morning posts his like picture right before his workout with his Cafe Bustelo, and he's right out there on the roof of his building just working it out. They've been putting in the effort and the work.
They really have, and it shows. It shows. They both got bigger. They look better in the ring. Like they're ready, and I'm so glad they won. And I'm hoping they leave the Inner Circle. And we love tag team wrestling too, Brian.
They are our next tag team champions.
Oh, absolutely. They have to be.
I hope. If it's either them or it's Kings of the Black Throne, it's one or the other.
So I'm thinking that Buddy Matthews is going to be the third in the House of Black.
Oh,
wow. Really? That'd be cool.
Yeah. He is heavily rumored to already have signed with AEW, or AEW's been going after him or in talks with him for quite a while.
I know you guys saw it too. There were some articles circulating that were saying they were going to bring Penta back to his old dark Lucha Underground gimmick. Yep. And so that made me think, after obviously getting misted and everything else, that like he was going to swerve Pac and join.
That would be
that would be interesting cool to see.
I mean, nothing against Buddy. If he comes in cool, I'm just saying that's where I was at before you mentioned him, because I hadn't thought about it. But Jesus, if Penta goes dark and starts breaking bones again and rolling with the House of Black,
that would be awesome.
I am going to be a bigger mark than Bruce. I'm not going to lie.
Bro, I'm going to just lose my mind.
Oh yeah, we already mentioned that, Brian. No. See, I'm Penta. High class is Pac. Grandma Wendy is Phoenix.
Yes,
because I'm the littlest.
And she's my brother.
Well, no, I did it that way because I know how you guys like luchadors more than I do. So I give you guys the luchadors.
And I'm not ashamed to break a motherfucker's arm. I'll tell you right now.
I'll fucking do it. I'm reckless. I don't give a shit.
Snap! Should have been talking shit.
All right.
What's next on the docket?
All right. It's time.
Uh-oh.
It's time to talk about the biggest elephant in the wrestling world. Cody
Oh,
Rhodes.
Ref Amy! I get to see your beautiful face 2 nights in a row. Oh, we love you too, Ref Amy, and I feel like I owe you $20 for calling me beautiful.
Wow.
You know she's lying. You know, I know she's lying. We all do, but she's so sweet. Thank you, Ref Amy.
So
Sorry, go ahead.
As everybody in the wrestling world knows, Cody and Brandy Rhodes have left AEW.
Yeah.
Wow.
Some people are saying it's a work. Some people are believing it. Some people are saying Cody's going to be in WWE by WrestleMania. Even I speculated that he goes in to ROH, basically take the job that Marty Scurll had, where he's head of creative and he still wrestles, and here's your millions and millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars.
And he gets to be that Triple H style person that he wants to be.
I don't know. I've got leaked photos of his new WWE gimmick. At least it would cover up the neck tattoo. It's like
violence to my soul.
What would we call that? Like Homelander dust? What is that?
That is
what the fuck is that?
That's American Stardust.
That's provided to us by the wrestling god MJF, by the way.
There's a lot of parts to this story with Cody and Brandy leaving.
A lot. I think there's a lot of people are overlooking, to be honest.
I mean, there's talks that Cody wanted Punk and Brian and Bryan Danielson level money, and Tony said no. There was like a story that Cody had a hissy fit after Tony took full creative control. Tony wanted Cody to turn heel, but he refused. There's a lot of shit out there.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think Cody did this because he's a fucking egomaniac, because he wants to be the first person to jump ship from AEW to WWE. He doesn't want Brian Cage to be that person. He doesn't want any of the other people to do it.
So Ivan is in the boat of it's a work.
It's a work.
I have a tremendous theory on this, because I was talking about it the other night when Ref Amy, as she said, saw me, and I got to be part of Rewind Wrestling Network. And after that, it all kind of hit me, and I felt bad because it was after the show. But if you go back through the history of Cody's career in AEW, originally when he started out, he was part of the Elite. He was rolling with Kenny and the Bucks. They were all goody two-shoe. He was also in control of, TV production and that sort of thing, working Gorilla, all that. As time went on, all of a sudden you got reports of the EVPs having issues in the back, and then the Bucks and Kenny kind of went one way, and then all of a sudden Cody went, fuck, I don't need you. I've got Billy Gunn and Lee Johnson, and shortly after that, Tony Khan took over television, took over every show.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And now Cody is basically sitting there like Raven. But what about me? What about me? And I think from there, this whole thing about him refusing to turn heel and everything else was just a big middle finger to AEW, to his fellow EVPs, to Tony Khan, that like, you guys don't want to give me what I want, so I'm just going to sit here, do whatever the fuck I feel like till my contract runs out, and then I'm gone. Like, fuck this shit. I'm out. And I'm not saying he's right for doing it. I'm saying that's what he did because when you think about it, moving forward, like, yeah, I would love to see him go and be there for the restart of ROH and be that Marty Skrull type. I think he'd do wonderful in that. But if he goes back to WWE, you think they want anything to do with Brandy Rhodes?
There's already-
AEW didn't want shit to do with Brandy Rhodes. Did you see? Did you see?
If they did try to go to with him to WWE, they wouldn't have anything for her. She would just be interviewing again. That's it. If that.
Yeah. Like they don't want him. They don't want her to be a valet. They damn sure don't want her in ring. So if it's about money, Vince better be cutting a check that's going to make up for 2 salaries. Because as I said on the Rewind Wrestling Network last night, guessing that fucking bus you got ain't cheap. And don't tell me you're struggling for money. I've seen your house. I've seen your bus. I've seen your vehicles. Your dog lives better than my entire fucking family put together. Don't tell me about money. Okay, this had everything to do with egos. Cody got butt hurt, and he threw a year or so long tantrum on national television until his contract ran out, and then he dipped. And for me personally, going back to WWE when you are Cody Rhodes is a backwards move.
It really is.
You literally changed the game in the independents, then created the largest competition since WCW. Now you want to leave and go back? Do you know how badly they're going to dog him?
To add insult to injury, how much shit did he publicly talk? Come on, let's talk about that throne he fucking wrecked with.
I was gonna say, all of a sudden, breaking that throne didn't age very well. Now did it?
That's what I was gonna say. Like, Vince is a spiteful motherfucker. The dude is spiteful and he is petty. Cody talked all that shit about WWE, and now he's going back there.
Bro. And no, Devin, I don't think it's a work either, bro. I'm not in that boat. Not even close. I agree. It's not a work. This was Cody is butt hurt, and he's taking his ball and going home.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's gonna be on
Dolph Ziggler. I'm sorry. It should have been me.
all that shit he
fuck CM Punk. It should have been me.
all that shit he talked. He's gonna be the megastar on fucking 205 Live.
Right?
Good fucking luck.
I mean,
we'll
honestly,
see you
though,
when your contract runs out.
Honestly, though, I'm not saying the E is loaded because but 2 things about him going to the E. Number 1, when you have cut close to 200 people in 2 years for budget cuts, how do you justify cutting this huge check for Cody Rhodes after that? Number 2, if you bring in Cody, now I'm not saying he was in the title picture in AEW, but y'all got to remember he was booking back then. That was his choice. So don't give me this. He put over talent and he took him and they took him out of the title. No, that was his fucking choice when he was still happy with the promotion. So that comes off table too. When you put him in WWE, you mean to tell me that he's a bigger draw or title contender than Seth Rollins? You mean to tell me he's on Brock level? You mean to tell me he's on Bobby Lashley level? I don't fucking think so. If he goes back there, he's a U.S. champ at WrestleMania at best. And people are going to dog him till the day he leaves about, oh, well, I guess you couldn't cut it with the elite, so you decided to come crawling back.
Hey.
Roman Reigns could walk up and say, I'm the royal family here. Where's your family? Either they're dead or they're gone where you should be.
How fucked up would it be if Cody goes back and they make him turn heel?
Devin, absolutely Cody was overvaluing himself in AEW. Because basically, you're the EVP, but you're the EVP in charge of what? Because you were in charge of production for the shows, and then you got taken off. So now you're an EVP in name, and you think you're some shit. Of course he's overvaluing himself. He's overvaluing himself thinking he can go back to WWE. If they wanted him, they wouldn't have fired him on his fucking wedding day.
My thing is, when he wanted CM Punk money or Bryan Danielson money, it's like, okay, well, how much more are those 2 guys really making than him?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, they're fucking draws.
Yeah.
Mhm.
big time put asses in seats. But I mean,
And-
Cody
and-
does too.
And something else that they were that Cody has not been in a long time? They're fucking over.
Yeah.
People go out of their minds for CM Punk. People go out of their minds for Bryan Danielson. Doesn't matter if he's a face, he's a heel. Doesn't fucking matter. You want to talk about putting guys over? Bryan Danielson's been doing that. He did it this week with Lee Moriarty. You want to talk about putting guys over? CM Punk let MJF beat him fucking twice in his hometown. And you want to say Cody puts guys over?
Now, just stop and think about this. Cody Rhodes gave up an executive vice president spot, right, of a wrestling company that he wrestled for. He gave up being a host of a television show on TBS.
And the shitty reality show. Don't forget that.
Well, I actually liked that one because it had a lot more to do with like wrestling than just them.
I did like the aspects of wrestling in it, and it showed a lot of that stuff too. Because like honestly, one of the reasons Tony pulled the TV and shit from Cody was the whole angle with a go-go, the fucked up weigh-in, the talking trash about America during probably the worst time when America needed to be trash talked. Let's be real. And doing it to, yes, a man that was British, but also black. It was a horrible look, and it was Cody's idea. And shortly after that, his shit got pulled. And then the I'm not a heel shit started.
Mm-hmm.
Cody's butt hurt.
Here's the thing. He so badly wanted to be the John Cena of AEW. And you can now see it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but the difference between John Cena and Cody was when John Cena got booed and stuff, he just took it in stride. He made jokes about it. Rock started the Fruity Pebble thing. He had a Fruity Pebble t-shirt. Like it just rolled right off his back. Cody, on the other hand, took that shit personally and just
But that's because
bitched out.
With all the ego in the world of, do you know who my daddy is? Yeah, we know
that's
who
the problem. We know
you're not the caliber of your father.
Yeah, we know who your daddy is. You're not him.
No matter how hard you try.
You can dye your hair blonde. You can throw elbows. You can do whatever. You will never be your dad, Cody. Flat out. Nobody will ever be your dad. That man made polka dots popular. Okay? Yeah. You try that shit, homie. Even when you said you were going to be the American dream, I didn't see you strutting out there in polka dots. No, it was Homelander gear all the way.
That's
you try that shit.
That's a big difference between him and his father. His father went into it like, oh, you want me to pull this gimmick? Fuck it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do what I got to do.
You want me to be a face? I'll do it. You want me to be a heel? I'll do it.
Cody went, so I'm like,
sorry.
Cody went into it with like the whole, my name is established because of my father. I don't need to do that. And it's that whole idea of the first generation has to come in and build the empire. The second generation has to defend the empire. And the third is the one that loses the empire because they have easy times. Easy times make soft
because they get everything handed to them.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But he just went straight from like defending to just easy times, easy men kind of thing. And it's like, no, Cody. No. Now it's your turn to uphold the name and reputation of the family. And that he could not do.
Yeah, I totally agree with Brian, though. The last time Cody was truly over was the promo he did after the match with Dustin. And even that was a remix of his father's promo.
Yep.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that was the point.
The original.
Dusty would do whatever you asked him to do. You want me to be a heel? Fine. You want me to be a face? Fine. You want me to work behind the scenes? Fine. And he had creative ideas, and he was revolutionary. Cody, on the other hand, is just, I'm sorry, but go back to his old music. He's only smoke and mirrors, folks.
That's my other question.
And this proves it.
Here's the thing. If he goes to WWE, can he take his music?
I don't know. I mean,
and will they allow him to be the American Nightmare?
Well, the band that did his music also did Dolph Ziggler's and The Miz's. So he might be able to bring the music. I'm not sure if American Nightmare is, trademarked by AEW because they don't do their licensing. Yeah, so I think he could bring it, and if he wants to give it up, then he could use it because WWE is going to want to take it. That's another thing.
But
All that stuff
all
about
the shit
think about
he
the
went
song,
through.
like I gave it all away to take my freedom, and now he's going to give it all back to lose his fucking freedom.
What
a fucking asshole!
All that shit that he fought WWE to get his last name back, to get these pay-per-views and do all this stuff,
to become the name and the person and the wrestler that he thought he was, and then this happens, and now you're going back, and you're just like, let me. It's like an etch-a-sketch. Let me just get rid of all this shit I did and go back to where I began.
No,
we've said it too, Dan. Like Cody in New Japan was fucking amazing. We wanted that back, and we thought we might end up getting it at some point. And now
you know what it is? It's an abusive relationship. Cody was in an abusive relationship, and he got battered and beaten, and then he got out and he started to flourish, and then he was like, I wonder.
You know what?
And then
Vinny has changed.
You know the E sent that midnight text of, what you
Vinny
doing?
has changed. He said he's gonna be. He said he's gonna be good to me this time.
Exactly. Cody was like, "Oh man, I remember the good times. That time he got me those flowers and chocolates. I remember how he used to call me."
He said he's gonna be good to me this time. He said the band is gonna make it.
It's different. It's gonna be different, and he's running back.
You know what?
The
if he does,
of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different
result. And Cody is fucking insane, man. It takes a psycho to know the insane, and that motherfucker is insane. And I'll be honest, Devin, if he does go back to WWE, I know there's a strong possibility. I don't want to see it happen, but if he does, I think he will be booked the exact same way that he was booked when he left. He will be a mid-card guy till the day that he dies, and if he's lucky, he'll avoid the paint and the jumpsuit. And if he's lucky, I mean, people try to compare this to like Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley going away and getting stronger and coming back. You know what they didn't do? They didn't shit talk WWE at every turn and then create a promotion to fight WWE. There is a huge difference.
I see it now for Cody. Mid-card, no titles. Best of luck.
Here it is.
You know what I see? You know what I see? Honestly, I see him losing in a United States Championship match to Damian Priest while getting hit with his own fucking finisher. Because Damian Priest uses it now.
He's not going to be able to use Crossroads when he goes back because Priest is using it.
Yeah, that's going to be a great start, isn't it? Hey, welcome back to WWE. You can't use your finisher anymore, even though you had it first. Have a good day. Here's your script.
This is the way his run's gonna go. It's gonna come in the door. He's gonna get a main event title shot. He's gonna get a world title shot. He's gonna lose that world title shot, and then he's gonna get lost in the mid card shuffle and be the third person thrown out of the Royal Rumble every fucking year.
And honestly, if that's where his head is at, I know I've come on here and I've trolled some of the Cody haters and I've defended him at times because I do like the man. But if this is where his head is at now and this is where he's going, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
The first promo where he goes and he talks shit about AEW, it's over for me.
No! At that point, you will see me live on YouTube in my front yard, burning my American Nightmare and Thronebreaker T-shirts.
Yep.
How fucking how crazy would it be if Cody debuted the Raw after WrestleMania and he went out there and he had his new WWE shirt on and then he fucking like ripped it off and had an AEW shirt on and kind of flipped the fucking bird and told everyone to go fuck themselves and left?
Okay, then I would apologize, but until then, fuck that guy.
Until then,
you know what else I love? Have you heard all these people that said like, "Oh, well, now he can have a match with Triple H"? You know, Triple H ain't doing good, right?
You know,
like he is not ready for a comeback. He's lucky to be alive. There will be no Cody versus Triple H in the near future. You'll be lucky if you see Triple H.
Take it from someone whose dad has had 4 heart attacks, and that first one was like the one
Tell
that
him.
almost did him in with a quadruple bypass, you don't bounce back from heart shit that quick, fast, and in a hurry.
No, not at all. I mean, like we haven't talked about it yet, but like Keith Lee made his comeback in AEW, and I loved it.
my God,
I absolutely
Forgot
loved
we
it.
took a week off.
Yeah, we did because we had the family problems, but we loved it, and he was wearing his shit. He looked like himself. It was everything we wanted it to be.
Oh my God,
And
it was fucking amazing.
I was
He
so
was
caught
so
up.
good.
I was so caught up in that moment. And then afterwards, I was thinking, if you go back a year to that day, it's almost when the video dropped when he explained that he got COVID. And then afterwards, he had
Yeah.
heart complications and his heart had swelled. And he couldn't walk around his own block in his own neighborhood without gasping for air.
Yep.
And to go from that. And then, yeah, everything else he went through, which is secondary at that point. But to end up here, when it hit me, I literally got choked up because I love Keith Lee. This is not a Cody Rhodes thing. Like, I love that man. I will love that man if he's wearing Angelo Dawkins tights and being called a Bearcat. I'll be pissed, but I'll love him anyway. And so when I thought about it, it just immediately was like, oh shit.
Did you see
like this was more beautiful than I thought.
Did you see his gestures in the ring when he walked in the ring and he kind of went like this with his gear?
Yeah.
And
He's like, look what's back.
And he kind of shimmies the jacket off like, look, no singlet.
Like, there were people that said he wasn't in the greatest of shape and everything else. And just think about what I just said.
From a heart thing. A heart thing.
Tell him it was not an easy road for Keith Lee, and he had a lot of time off, and he worked very hard to get to that point, and I'm sure he will get into better shape. I don't give a fuck if he was a little bit flabbier than he used to be or anything else. That's all that Vince McMahon. Yeah, that is all that Vince McMahon body shaming bullshit. I ain't with that. I love that he was in a ring. I love that he was kicking ass. I love that he sent Isaiah Cassidy into fucking orbit.
That's awesome.
He just pulled a Uncle Phil and Isaiah Cassidy was jazzed. Just
Adam Cole was in the back like, not again. Not again.
Not again. I'm having gift flashbacks. Britt, hold me.
It's okay, baby. It's okay. He's like, no, you don't understand, Britt. You don't understand.
Britt's holding him like a baby. Like, it's okay. It's okay. Wait, is me him here? Okay, we're cool. Okay, it's okay, baby. It's okay.
and speaking of Keith Lee, like,
I would love for him. I'm sorry. I'm just saying to Peter. I would prefer him to go anywhere but WWE. Even NWA would be fine.
NWA, yeah.
He'd be great.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna go, but he'd be great.
Well, no, he could go to NWA and get the control that he wants.
But what's more important now?
It's not
that he
just
gets his money or that he gets control?
It's both that he wants at this point.
His thing is he wants to be the next Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
And
I know that.
He's pretty much stated it numerous of times in different interviews.
That. And I get it.
But it was greatly obvious when he destroyed that throne. That's what he was going for.
And I get it. But again, like, if you're watching this, rewind back to everything that I said about Cody's run in AEW. And I know he wants to be Triple H, but unfortunately he's not.
No, we all know this.
He's just not. I mean, he all the stuff that people defend him for, like, oh, well, he bled in almost every match. Again, his choice. He was doing the booking. That was his call.
Mm-hmm.
Taking himself out of the title picture, that was him. The Agogo thing, that was him. Everything beyond that was Tony Khan, and him responding the way that he did was in direct response to Tony Khan.
Mm-hmm.
And in that case, if you know what Triple H isn't, he's not a crybaby bitch.
No. I agree with
Cody
what Brian said. Sad that Cody lost sight of wanting to forge a new path for pro wrestling when he helped start AEW. Dusty must be spinning
in his grave. Yep.
I fucking agree.
And everybody's like, oh, well, he'll bring Dustin back. Dustin's like, no. Fuck you. I ain't never going anywhere. I'm all elite for life.
he said, I'll see you on the flip side or something like that. He's like
I'll see you down the road, Cody. Have a ball. I'm not going.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I ain't going. You can go if you want. I'm right here. They like me here. I'm a big deal here. Over there, I got to stutter. I gotta
It's
do
a whole
weird
thing. It's a
impressions
whole
of other
fucking thing.
wrestlers. I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna stay here.
It's like, see you later, alligator. In a while, black and mild.
Right.
So I think we can get to maybe 2 more fan questions.
Oh, at least, yeah.
Yeah. So
Do you have the Facebook ones or
I
all of
got
them? Because
I
I
got
have.
Facebook and Twitter.
Okay, because I have the Twitter questions up in front of me, but
I
I
got
don't have
nothing.
So here's one from
when he's unprepared.
Cage My IQ.
My man Dan.
Should there be a New Japan AEW show at some point in the future?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
100%. And I with Rocky Romero being there, and he's pretty much their ambassador to the American wrestling world.
Yeah.
And then with Jay White coming in and the mention of
you had Jay White tonight.
Bullet Club.
Yep.
I mean, Jay White and Trent had a New Japan match in the middle of a Rampage ring. Spoiler alert, if you didn't see it, it was fucking amazing.
I haven't seen it yet.
But it's just that's what I was getting to when even Adam Cole brought up the Bullet Club, was like New Japan and AEW are slowly starting to kind of just melt together.
They're mending.
Like you get the Chaos faction being mentioned. You get Minoru Suzuki coming to fight the Dragon. You get Jay White. You get all this stuff. You get all these other guys that came after Mox, like Kenta and Kojima and all that. I know they started off in a rough place when AEW jumped off, but now they seem to be like best fucking friends. Like they work together more than any promotion.
I honestly feel like New Japan is feeling the hit that Kenny and the Bucks put on them when they left, because let's all be honest with ourselves. When they left, a lot of mention of New Japan wrestling in America kind of left when they left. Like,
oh no, you're absolutely right.
When they were there, it was stories and stories and Wrestle Kingdom this and Wrestle Kingdom that, and it's like now that they're gone.
But that's when
now I have to go looking for this shit.
When these guys left, it seemed like New Japan and ROH were just fucking furious because they had a good thing going with these guys.
Oh, yeah.
And now they don't have any access to them. No. And they have to basically rebuild. Now, New Japan has done it. ROH, maybe not so much, not yet. But after a while, it seemed like New Japan started to think, you know what? We need to start incorporating AEW into our product like we did with ROH, because that's where these guys came from. If we can get Mox and Jericho to come to Japan, if we can send some of our guys to AEW, if we can do these things, then we are going to get back to that level that we were on before they left. And that's exactly how it worked out. I mean, even Impact is picking up because the Bullet Club is running through there.
Let's be honest here. It's about time Japan starts paying AEW back.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Moxley, Jericho, Archer, and
well, let's just say
who else?
The talent swap between like New Japan and AEW is a lot more fair than say like Impact and AEW.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. Impact.
Like it was all one-sided. It was all getting funneled into Impact.
Impact got the greatest wrestler on the
but that's what I mean. At least AEW has gotten. At least AEW has gotten Jay White and Minoru and Kenta and these guys to come to AEW. Where with Impact, everybody was going there, but you hardly had anybody from Impact on an AEW show, like Good Brothers. End of list. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I think they're slowly starting to balance the scales, because and maybe ROH's debacle kind of opened New Japan's eyes and went, okay, we don't want to end up like this.
I know what else I wanted to talk about.
What else did you want to talk about?
Can I throw another? It's kind of New Japan AEW related question from Kadrian on Twitter, who we love. He's been a day one guy. He actually asked, well, it's a 3-parter. He said,
Yeah.
Can wins still matter in professional wrestling without a ranking system? That's one.
If there's no ranking system, what's the point of wins and losses?
Yeah.
I mean, you can still get a big win without a ranking system. Like Seth Rollins with the Shield gear beating Roman, even though it wasn't a title, even though he didn't win a title, was a big win. So it can matter, but not like, oh, this guy beat this guy on Raw and we'll see you next week. Like, then it doesn't matter. Like, we're going to have a rematch next week. Then it doesn't matter. But when you get a big win, yeah, that matters. Outside of that, no. And that's why I don't want to do away with the ranking system. I think somebody asked about that. I don't give a shit. Like, Adam Cole's number one for a reason. There's the end of the ranking system discussion. His second question, Jay White AEW Dream matches versus who? Like the Switchblade versus blank.
The obvious one is Kenny Omega, but we all know he's out and he won't be back for some time.
Yeah, I think we're headed towards that. The way Adam Cole is kind of rolling with him, and then he's got Red Dragon. Like eventually, they're going to split off from the Elite, and maybe Kenny adds somebody. We have like a war culminating with Jay White and Kenny when he finally comes back.
I honestly would like to see Jay White. I mean, goddamn, there's so many.
There's so many. I mean, right off the top of my head, Bryan Danielson.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
They've never fought. They're both amazing wrestlers. I know Danielson is a lot older, but Jay White is great, and he's the only Grand Slam champion in IWGP history. So he's got all the reputation and all the accolades to back up that match. I'm thinking about it. Like, I'm just going through faces.
See, I was actually thinking more on the lines of maybe a Jungle Boy. I think that match would be fucking amazing.
I mean, nothing against Jurassic Express. Jungle Boy has some fire fucking singles matches, man. Even when he doesn't win, they're crazy matches. I don't care if it's MJF, Christian, whoever. Like, he has some amazing matches, and him versus Jay White would be awesome.
So, go ahead. Sorry, Dom.
I'd even kind of like to see Jay White versus Sammy Guevara.
Yeah?
Yes.
Or Andrade.
Oh, yes. I mean, dude, no offense, but El Idolo is struggling a little bit in AEW with this Hardy shit. I don't know what the fuck they did. He went from rolling with Malachi Black to fucking around with the Hardy family office, which I want to see go in the first place.
Yeah.
The only Hardy family I want in AEW has Jeff involved. End of story.
Honestly, that's one of the most nonsensical factions in AEW.
Yeah, it really is. So should I give you the last question from Kadrian, the third part?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Should New Japan Pro Wrestling just move to the United States for a while, being more stars are coming over into the States?
No.
Yeah,
they've got the New Japan Strong, which is USA, which is their product that's based in the United States. So they technically do have a base in the United States.
Yeah. I mean, I get what they're saying because travel restrictions and stuff in Japan is crazy with the pandemic, so it's harder to get guys over, and moving them would make sense. But you have to understand that Japan is so much bigger, or wrestling is so much bigger in Japan than it will ever be here. If you think it's big here, go to Japan.
Yeah.
Wrestlers are gods. And I don't mean like to wrestling fans. I mean like to an entire continent. Like everybody in Japan is a wrestling fan. Not 2.5 million out of however many people. Billions of wrestling fans.
Yeah,
they will sell out a house show in 2 seconds. Like they do not need shit. you can't take wrestling away from Japan. It would kill them.
Yeah.
So if we gotta be patient and wait for the travel restrictions and for when people feel comfortable coming to the States to have these dream matches, fine. You know?
Right?
I can't do that to Japan. We actually have listeners in Japan, and I respect that. I can't do that to Japan. And they do have a US based dojo as well in LA. You're right, Brian. You're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
So, two things I wanted to talk about, and like, one is the story arc with Wardlow and MJF that has actually been building for a few years now.
Yeah.
So it's a what if hypothetical that I thought of that I'm like, oh my god, this could be fucking amazing if this works. So
You know what's crazy? I actually had a Wardlow hypothetical too. So go ahead. You might be the same thing.
MJF's the type of guy that's probably gonna have a heater most of his career because it's fucking perfect for him. So obviously Wardlow's his heater now, and Wardlow turns as we see coming anyways when he turns on MJF. MJF then comes out the following week and lays down a challenge to Wardlow for someone of his choosing. And AEW opens that forbidden door once again, and MJF gets his first true heater back. Alexander Hammerstone comes through the door and challenges Wardlow in a match.
Oh my god.
And MLW lets him work with AEW as well as MLW.
You're trying to get Wendy and I to fight now because you're putting
Right?
her man.
Like,
You're putting her man crush against technically my man crush.
But how?
You're lucky the husband has the car because it can't jump into it and drive the 2 hours down to be like, we fighting in your front yard. Like, I'm
Because I mean, seriously, how awesome
it would be amazing,
that be?
It would truly be amazing. That is not what I had, but it would be amazing. I would love to see that. Those
and it would
two
be like
monsters.
a real match and challenge for Wardlow.
Right?
Two amazing
Like,
big men.
Was it last year that Luchasaurus fought Wardlow and they plugged it because King Kong versus Godzilla was coming out?
Yeah.
This would be King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah, this
shit here that you're talking about right here, this would be King Kong versus Godzilla at this point. Wardlow, I mean, we all know what Hammerstone can do. He's a tremendous big guy. Wardlow is quickly becoming a tremendous big guy. So you put these two in the ring and fuck.
I have never seen like Wardlow's always been a fan favorite in AEW, but I have never seen someone in the history of watching wrestling get over with a power bomb so much as him. Like the symphony of power bombs literally put him over the moon in the wrestling ring.
Oh yeah, and it doesn't matter how many he does. There's still fans going, one more time.
He can do 100. People are still going to lose their shit.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's awesome.
I think the thing that made this past Wednesday's match so much better is he actually had a match.
Oh, I was going to say, because Max Caster fought back.
You know,
it wasn't just insert jobber name here. It was somebody who was actually going to give him a fight.
Yeah, like Caster gave him.
It wasn't just Caster because Bowen also was like, let me get myself into the water.
True. I swear to God, it was like Wardlow was a face for one night only. You know how MJF became? Yeah, I know. You know how MJF became a face in Long Island, and then it all just ended. Wardlow was a face for one night only against Max Caster because people were just booing the shit out of the Acclaim.
They really were.
No, the hypothetical I had, because again, might be a spoiler alert for people out there if you didn't watch it, but on Rampage, Will Hobbs now qualified for this Face of the Revolution ladder match.
You just keep fucking. You just keep throwing the Rampage stuff out there, huh?
I'm sorry, I watched.
I didn't.
Well, you're gonna love it.
Gee,
So
thanks.
at this point in time, the three guys in the ladder match are Keith Lee, Wardlow, and Will Hobbs.
This
We're
match
about
is
to
gonna
have
be
the
fucking amazing.
we're about to have the biggest fucking ladder match in wrestling history.
But
But
here's
the hypothetical is this: if Wardlow were to climb that ladder, grab that sonic ring, and become the face of the Revolution and get a TNT title shot, is MJF going to come in and try to take it from him because he works for it?
Yeah,
He's
it's
already
in
said
his
Wardlow's going to win the
contract.
AEW title for
coming
him.
in there
It's in
like
his
$1 million Man
contract.
and Andre the Giant. Just hand me my shit, you know.
Yeah, but that didn't work. They didn't let Ted have it. They were like, fuck that. Big sweaty man slapping meat. Jesus.
Delicious. I'm here for it. USDA grade A beef.
Yes, Peter. Rampage started early because it's NBA All-Star Weekend. I didn't even know that. I was watching the Sixers game, hence the jersey, and then all of a sudden I realized Rampage was on, so I had to quickly like skip commercials, DVR, catch up before we jumped on here.
Just really forgot.
Really, legitimately forgot.
so.
But would he actually make Wardlow give it up, and would that be the end?
Yes. I think it would be like that Randy Orton Triple H scenario in Evolution. Yeah.
Just hey, buddy, good job.
Yeah.
I mean, because MJF could still have a heater. He's got his accountability buddy.
No, a heater is someone bigger.
Yeah,
I know.
it's.
Trust me,
but
he's
got a chair. He's got a chair. It makes up for the size. He can hit people. He's the chairman.
All right, God damn it. The show's winding down, and there's something that I absolutely want to talk about.
Okay.
EC3 and Adam Shear are starting a wrestling promotion, and there is a TV deal imminent.
Yes, there is.
Straight from them. How fucking amazing is this?
So fucking cool.
It's very cool. It's also kind of confusing. Like, who's picking it up? Like, is it just control your narrative and they're fighting?
That's the name of the company.
Yeah. No, is it just a click and then they bring in like random jobbers and they beat the shit out of them on TV for 20 minutes and then they're like, see you later, folks.
No, I actually think this is going to be a legit company, and I bet they have Wyndham Rotunda.
I see that. I see that happening. Because he's been doing stuff too.
They get
he and Adam are tight.
Wyndham. Adam's been calling him out. Every show he does, he's been calling him out.
Yes, Brian, that's a thing that happened. He's like, what? What?
Hold on, I got.
Yes, Brian, that's happening. Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna need a moment. I will be right back.
Okay. I think somebody needs a potty break.
So they've already got their first two shows booked. They've got a show on 3/31 in Dallas, and they have the debut of Killer Cross.
Ooh, interesting. And yes, Ivan, I'm actually excited for No Surrender because of the Good Brothers versus God. That's going to be fucking sick. That and I believe it's William Regal's first pay-per-view, as we talked about on the Sports Syndicate at the end of the show when you came on. But I am definitely excited for that. And I'm definitely interested in the promotion and the TV. Like, I hope it gets somewhere nationally, or at least somewhere streaming where you can watch it.
Yeah. CYN. CYN Live. 3/5. They're in Orlando, Florida. And then 3/31, they're in Dallas, Texas, and that's a TV special.
That's going to be interesting. I have to figure out if we can actually watch that at the end of the month. That'd be cool. Like, if they put it out someplace where we can all watch it, we may have to have a watch along.
Right.
Just like review it as we go, that sort of thing.
Hell yeah.
I mean, we have the technology. We can do it.
We're talking about CYN.
I'm more excited for No Surrender than I am for Elimination Chamber. You and me both, Peter. You and me both.
So no, Wendy, what I was saying is their first two shows, they're on 3/5 is Orlando, Florida, and then 3/31 in Dallas, Texas, and that looks like it says TV special, so that must be a TV recording, or they're going to be live on whatever channel or station they're going to be on.
I like this.
I definitely like this. I don't know if you heard, but I was saying to Brucey, if they do something where we can all watch it, we should do like a live watch along review of the first show.
That would be awesome.
What if Cody goes to CYN?
I mean, he could. Anywhere but WWE.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
If he does, though, I wonder just how much control or money even they'll give him, though, and if it'll be
what he'll get. What he'll get control of? His narrative.
I thought you were gonna say he's nuts.
I mean, it's CYN.
They've got a backer.
You'd think
this could be a Tony Khan shell company that, for all we fucking know.
Maybe. I mean, Lord knows Braun or Adam Shearer. I'm sorry, I got to get Braun out right. Adam Shearer made a lot of money in WWE. You never know; he could be putting that shit up.
He didn't make enough to start a wrestling company.
Maybe
he might have.
Maybe he invested in WWE stock.
I mean, tight tank tops don't cost that much.
So, have you guys? One more quick thing. Did you hear the news about Tegan Knox? And she didn't get in an interview. She basically said WWE did not release her because of budget cuts. They released her because she had caught COVID.
Okay.
Because she got released the day after she told them.
Wow. I mean, I'm not actually shocked over it, to be honest.
Not at all, no.
I knew she wasn't being released for budget cuts. None of them were. I know that's what they say, but you're cutting your budget and making $1 billion at the same time. I don't think you know what budget cuts mean. Budget cuts means we're eating Spam because we can't afford anything else. That's a budget cut. Not we're eating Spam so we can make $1 billion. If that were true, I'd eat Spam. I don't mind. It's not that bad, y'all. You can season it in different ways. You can make it in different ways. You can add different shit to it. It's not that bad. If it meant I had $1 billion at the end of 2022, I'd eat it all fucking year. That's a budget cut. Well, getting rid of a bunch of people so you can make $1 billion is not a budget cut. That's being corporate cocksuckers. There's a difference.
Well,
that's like dangly thing in the back of your throat. Corporate cocksuckers. Just.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you can find us in two places on the Book Face, or Facebook, as normal people call it.
The Book of Face.
The Book of Face. You can find us at Top Rope Wrestling Talk. In our group, that's where we do our forums, our chats, our threads, all that stuff.
All of it.
That's where we share our memes and talk our shit and have some fun and debate. Then you can also find us at Top Rope Wrestling Talk, and that's our page. That's where we promote the show and do all our stuff for the show, clips, whatever we do. That's where we put it on Facebook.
Sometimes.
Then
Not for a long time. Be real.
We need a social media manager.
Yeah, we need more staff.
Son of a bitch.
God damn it.
You can also find us on our never stopping Twitter at Top Rope WT. Yeah, it never stops. So
did you
really
say
doesn't.
debate,
It really
Bruce? Great, Ivan's gonna sue us now. Shout out to the League of Extraordinary podcast.
Cease and desist on saying debate. Okay. Then you can find us on Instagram at our PWI award-winning Instagram handle. And here it is at top_rope_wrestling_talk. That is where you can find
As
us
it
on
rolls
the gram. Thank you, PWI, for the recognition.
The worst.
Grandma Wendy,
Yes.
tell us where they can listen to us.
We all do.
You can find us on anchor.fm/TRWT. From there, you can also find us on thewrestlingindex.com. But from anchor.fm, you can find us wherever podcasts are freely distributed: Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, you name it, we're on there. You can listen to us everywhere. You can see our beautiful little faces on the YouTubes. You can find us under Foxden John, JAWN.
TRWT parentheses of Foxden John.
Oh,
yeah,
did
what
we
he
change it again?
said.
Huh?
Did we change it again? I didn't realize.
No.
No,
It's been
you
that
just
way
been
for a
saying
hot
it
minute
wrong.
now.
It's been that way?
You just
Yeah,
been saying it
no.
wrong.
I need to pay more attention. They need to up my Adderall.
She needs to get her cheat sheet back.
I really do. I don't know how to put it. That or they need to change my Adderall dosage. I don't know. But
We'll
yeah,
figure it
you
out.
can find us on there. Dom, tell me, where can I find merch?
Merchandise.
Oh man, you want merch? We got it. We got it in any way that you want it. I don't care if it's mugs, masks, gaiters, beach towels for some of y'all south of the equator. We got notebooks, magnets, buttons, just shit tons of shit, blankets, pillows, shower curtains with our faces on it, onesies, hoodies, everything for everyone. Go to trwtmerch.threadless.com today. Find our logos, pick out your merch. International shipping, the whole nine. It's high quality shit, y'all. There's so many options, so much to choose from. Get your Top Rope shit tonight.
Yes. Buy it.
Like now.
Hey,
Right
Wendy.
now.
Hey,
Yes.
Wendy.
Yeah.
Say it.
Stay fresh, cheese bags.
Dom?
I'm going to go Ivan on this one. Here in the League of Extraordinary podcast, which we are a part of, we don't just make podcasts. We make fucking history.
Well, alrighty then. Deuces, bitches.
And just like that, we are history. Control your narrative.